In the shadows of World War II, amidst the clash of nations and the chaos of battle, one of the strangest and most ingenious military deceptions in history was born. It did not involve tanks or guns, but a single corpse, armed with nothing more than a briefcase of lies. This is the story of Operation Mincemeat, a covert plot so daring and bizarre that it helped turn the tide of the war by fooling Adolf Hitler himself. By 1943, the Allies had won the war in North Africa. The next strategic objective, Europe. But where to strike? Sicily was the logical target, close, vulnerable, and essential for controlling the Mediterranean. And because of that, it was also the obvious choice. The Germans knew it, and the British knew the Germans knew it. If the Allies landed in Sicily, they'd face fierce resistance. But what if they could make Hitler believe they were headed somewhere else? What if they could convince the Germans that Greece, or Sardinia, was the real target? That's when British intelligence concocted one of the boldest deception operations of the entire war. Ewan Montagu and Charles Cholmondeley, two British intelligence officers, devised an audacious plan. They would plant false invasion plans on a dead body and allow it to fall into German hands. The idea was inspired by an old memo called the Trout Memo, which compared deceiving the enemy to fly fishing. The corpse would be disguised as a British officer carrying top-secret documents. These documents would point to a fake Allied invasion of Greece. The hope? That German intelligence would take the bait and Hitler would move troops away from Sicily. It would require meticulous attention to detail, from forged love letters and theater ticket stubs to creating an entire identity for a man who never existed, Major William Martin of the Royal Marines. They needed a believable body, someone who could pass as having died in a plane crash at sea. Eventually they found Glyndwr Michael, a homeless man who had died from ingesting rat poison. He had no close relatives and no known history, perfect for disappearing into an invented identity. The corpse was preserved in dry ice and outfitted with a uniform, wallet contents, personal effects, and most importantly, a briefcase handcuffed to his wrist. Inside, falsified correspondence between high-ranking generals discussing the fake invasion of Greece and Sardinia. In April 1943, the body was released off the coast of Huelva, Spain, by the British submarine HMS Seraph. Spain was neutral but crawling with German spies. It was the perfect place for a chance discovery. Soon after, Spanish fishermen found the corpse and turned it over to local authorities. German agents quickly learned of the documents and pressured the Spanish officials for access. Unknown to them, British intelligence had carefully designed the materials to survive scrutiny. To ensure credibility, the documents were returned to the British with subtle signs that they had been opened and copied, exactly as hoped. The Germans swallowed the bait. Hook, line, and sinker. The falsified letters made their way up the chain of command, eventually reaching Hitler himself. He became convinced that the real Allied invasion would come through Greece. As a result, he diverted critical divisions, panzer units, and elite troops away from Sicily to fortify Greece and the Balkans. When the Allies invaded Sicily on July 9, 1943, they faced far less resistance than expected. The deception worked so effectively that even after the Sicily invasion began, Hitler believed it was a diversion. The operation was so successful that German intelligence maintained faith in its validity for weeks. Operation Mincemeat saved thousands of Allied lives and hastened the downfall of Mussolini's regime in Italy. More than that, it marked a turning point in the use of psychological warfare and strategic deception. Years later, it was revealed how meticulously the operation had been crafted. Every detail, from fake ID cards to receipts for hotel stays, was designed to paint a portrait of a real man. The story eventually became a book and then a film, known as The Man Who Never Was. For decades, the true identity of the man used in the operation remained a secret. Only in 1998 was he formally recognized as Glyndwr Michael. Operation Mincemeat wasn't just a trick. It was a masterpiece of wartime deception. In a world torn apart by brutal conflict, it was a reminder that intelligence, creativity, and attention to detail could shape history as surely as any army. And so, the body of a man who had nothing became the key to saving thousands, a ghost who whispered lies and changed the course of a war. Subscribe to War Files. Uncovered for more real war stories, hidden truths, and uncovered files.